Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Hi guys, we are from Group 10 KMA1 in Sharia Audit Program. Create this video to share with you guys about Murabahah purchase order from Bank Muamalat. Alright, let's go.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I'm going to present about the product concept of Murabahah. So Murabahah, in literal meaning, it is derived from the Arabic word which is rib, which the meaning is profit or gain. And technically, Murabahah is a cost plus financing. It an Islamic financing structure in which the seller and buyer agree to the cost and markup of an asset. So Murabahah is a type of contract, a form of sale, where the seller expressly mentions the cost of the sold commodity he was incurred and sells it to another person or the buyer by adding some profit or markup. So the next one is the pillars of Murabahah. The first one is seller. A seller is an individual who exchanges their goods or services in return for payment. The second one is buyer. Buyer is an individual who pays for services or goods that he wants to own or resell. And the third one is merchandise or good. It is a good or services that are in the situation of selling goods in the market system. And the next one is price, is the amount of money required or given as a proof of payment to the seller to show the exchange activity between money and people. And the last one is sirah, which means offer and acceptance or ijab and kabul. So all parties who wants to enter into the Murabahah contract must follow all the conditions of the sale of the contract in Islam, such as free from usury. Right. Thank you.
Alright, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Zulmi Bezalal, my check number 1202307. Okay, here I'm about to share to you guys about the implementation of the product concept, which is Muamalat vehicle financing. So, the main Sharia contract that used for Muamalat vehicle financing is MPO, which is Murabahah to the purchase order. So this contract technically is a sale and purchase contract of asset whereby the cost and the margin markup price are made known. Under this contract, the customer has made a binding promise to purchase the vehicle from the bank. Subsequent to the bank has taken the position of the vehicle. So here I am about to share you guys how this basically works. So first of all, the process begins with the customer expressing their intention to the finance a vehicle through Bank Muamalat. So Bank Muamalat act as an intermediary in the vehicle acquisition process and enter into the Murabahah agreement with the customer. So under Murabahah, the bank purchased the selected vehicle on behalf of the customer at the agreed upon cost, which include the purchase price and agreed profit margin. So Bank Muamalat transparently disclose the total cost to the customer, including the original purchase price and the profit margin. So the total cost is then structured into the repayment plan, usually in the form of fixed installment over a specific period. The customer agrees to the repayment term, including the amount of and the duration. So once the customer completes the repayment, they gain full ownership of the vehicle without any additional interest charge. So that's all from the Murabahah contract. So that's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Next, I will present about the audit program. First testing objective is ensure the Murabahah contract for the product complies with the BNM requirement, applicable laws and the regulations. For the audit criteria, in paragraph S 11.2 in Murabahah Policy Document M, paragraph S 13 in point 1 in Murabahah Policy Document M, paragraph G 11.3 in Muamalat Policy Document M, internal manual and SOP from the Muamalat Vehicle Financing IPDS. Key control for this testing objective is establish committee responsible for the conducting regular review of the Murabahah contract to ensure ongoing compliance with B&M guidelines, inspect the Murabahah and Wa'ad policy document, and ensure the applications are completely done accordingly to policy document, verify product approval from the Shariah Committee approval. And the audit test for this testing is review the structure of the product against guideline issued by the BNM, examine the content of the Murabahah contract to ensure that is aligned with the latest BNM guidelines and regulations, and then examine the documentations of the Murabahah contract in Shariah Committee resolutions to ensure that the product is product approval. Next testing objective is transparency in pricing. Audit criteria from this testing objective that have in paragraph S 14.1 and G 14.19 in Murabahah Policy Document BNM. And then the paragraph S 12.1 until S 12.4 in Wa'ad Policy Document BNM, and internal manual and SOP from the transparent disclosure of pricing component in the Muamalat Financing PDS. And the key control for this testing objective is internal policy on the transparent pricing. Product disclosure sheets is reflected in price, and then approval from the Sharia Audit Committee. And the audit test is a review product disclosures on terms and the conditions, review relevant legal documentations, review documentations that are being approved by the Secretary SC and the board. Third testing objective is transparency among the contracting parties. Audit criteria for this testing objective that have in the paragraph S 12.1 until S 12.7 in Murabahah Policy Document M, and paragraph S 10.1 until G 10.4 in the Wa'ad Policy Document M, and internal manual and SOP from the Muamalat Vehicle Financing PDS. Key control for this testing objective. First, product disclosure sheet is a reflected contracting parties. Next, they ensure the Murabahah contractual documentation, the inclusion of the transparent terms and condition in Murabahah contract, and then they establish an independent Sharia review involving the Sharia compliance team to verify the transparency of the contractual terms. And then the audit test for this testing objective, evaluate the risk assessment conducted before the Murabahah purchase order approval, and review the approval workflow to ensure the relevant party, including the Sharia Committee, have the endorsed and approve the transactions. And then review product disclosure on the terms and conditions, review relevant legal documentations, examines the offer and acceptance whether appropriate with the documentations or any other method accepted by the customer business.
Next, for the testing objective number 4, is review the documentation and terms of Murabahah transaction to verify adherence to Sharia principles, confirm that the profit calculation and contractual term are in line with Islamic finance principle. For audit criteria, BNM guideline on product development, policy document for Murabahah product in paragraph X 12.7 and X 23.1, internal manual and SOP from Vehicle Financing IPDS, next Sharia Committee resolution, and lastly in paragraph X 18.12 and S 20.5 in Wa'ad Policy Document BNM. For key control, document management policy and procedure. Next, review structure of product against guideline issued by SAC BNM, promisor and promissory contract. Review the advice given by relevant parties prior to the approval process. Lastly, review the approval of product by respective approving authority, including approval by the Sharia Committee. For audit tests, document verification ensure that all required documents are present, accurate, comply with bank policy. Next, Sharia compliance review assess the approval process, the confirm a true review for compliance with Sharia principles. Lastly, for the testing objective number 5 is scrutinize the documentation supporting the underlying asset to confirm their legitimacy and conformity with Sharia principles. Ensure that the goods being financed through Murabahah are lawful and meet Sharia standard. For audit criteria, BNM guidelines on product development, policy document for Murabahah product in paragraph X 13.1 and appendix 3, internal manual and SOP from vehicle financing IPDS, Sharia Committee resolution, and lastly paragraph G 13.7 in Wa'ad policy document BNM. For key control, ensure full compliance of the product and endorsed by Sharia Committee and approved by the board. Clear and ambiguous contract term, through review of supporting document. Next, independent Sharia certification or expert review, and lastly, ongoing monitoring and risk management. For audit test, review PDS on term and condition and relevant legal documentation, examine the system whether the system imposed to ensure that the underlying asset complies with Sharia requirement, review internal control, assess the effectiveness of the Islamic financial institution interval control for Sharia compliance in Murabahah transaction, and lastly, risk assessment, evaluate the potential Sharia non-compliance risk associated with the Murabahah transaction and implement appropriate mitigation strategy. That's all from us. Thank you.